All right. And good morning and happy Monday.
Monday.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. We're going to give a few people to join a little bit early. It is Monday.
Yes, it is. And it's a hot one here already. I think it's like
Oh,
supposed
really?
to be 91 today. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
wow. That's so nice though.
it is nice till you walk outside and you melt into a puddle and you're like, oh, no. Mm-mm.
In Michigan, we embrace those days.
Oh, gosh, I bet. I bet.
We have a very short window.
Ours went from like the raining season straight into, hi, this is a heat wave from now until whenever. It has not given up on us. So
Oh my gosh. Well, while we give people a few minutes to get joining, um, again, this will be on our page, so you can watch it back later.
yeah.
And we will have any of the chat. So if there's any questions from anybody, then I can review them at the end if there's any specific questions that somebody might have for you. Um, Otherwise, what can you share the name or like your website? So if somebody wanted to look it up.
Yeah. So it's a little bit under construction right now, but it's still functional. It's www.inviktussalon.com. And our everything is on there, like how to book, so on and so forth. And then we make sure that we follow that through with all of our link tree is attached to it. Like anything you could possibly think of is attached to it.
And you just moved into a new building.
Yes, I purchased a location. Like, wow. Okay, here we are. That's exciting. So I was in downtown Springfield for 2 years and had kind of like had to bounce location for a little bit with my Springfield location due to just not being in love with my choices. My bad. I should have did more research. And then I found my dream building and got to purchase it from another salon owner that I'm just over the moon about. So that's exciting.
That's amazing. That's such a huge accomplishment when you own your building rather than renting it when you get to that point. And when you have that opportunity to do it, it's huge. So
Well, and as
congratulations.
an owner, I think about one of these days when I can't do hair anymore, which my girls are like, "You'll always do hair. We'll push you around in a wheelchair and you'll be bossing us around." Then I'm like, "Oh, guys, come on!" But like, if I decided to sell the business, I could always rent my location to them and still have a stream of income. Like, I
For
don't
sure.
want to count myself out for any stream of income that I can have.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. All right, well, let's get right into it, shall we? So we know that there's a trend that's traveling around our industry and salons across the nation, and that concept is a deskless salon, and salons that are getting rid of their receptionist or just transforming that position or that role into more of a concierge type of role. So naturally, that really depends on the type of business and the structure of the salon and the way that it's formatted and laid out and things. But overall, a deskless salon has been a very positive and a cost saving decision for a lot of salon owners. And my name is Lori Obazinski. I'm the Director of Sales and Business Development for Rosie Salon Software. And I am joined with Christa Stephens. And I'm very excited to have her here. She is the owner of a multi-location salon company called Inviktus Salons. And she has completely transformed her business into a deskless model. So, Christa, thanks for joining me today and talking about your salon company.
thanks for having us. Me.
So, yeah. Okay, so I think you have a really great story, and I think that you have a really great salon and business model. So I want to just kind of jump right into some of these questions that I have for you because I think that you have a lot of good things to share. So you had told me early on when you and I first connected that you originally came from an education setting where it was like the front desk was heavily promoted and that was like a core experience in the salon, and you were really taught it's like the heartbeat of the salon, right, is the front desk and the reception. And now all of a sudden you're a deskless salon. So tell us a little bit about that model and what prompted you to make that change.
I just felt like honestly, in my experience, like this is my experience. Everybody else has their own, but for me, we had tried having someone answers the phones, this, that, and the other, and it was never somebody that ever wanted it as a career. It was a job, and it really needs to be somebody's career. Like you need to love it because you are handling and putting your arms around everything in the business. And for me, I just couldn't ever find that person that loved it. And then when we did have a girl that she did all the things I needed her to do and she stood up for me, then there was a lot of backlash on both ends and we just couldn't be cohesive with it. And therefore I was like, I just want to go deskless. And when she went on maternity leave, she knew she wasn't going to come back. And I knew that this was when we were going to go into full launch mode of it. She actually helped a lot with, developing it and showing the girls how to walk around with iPads and check guests out and do all of that because that's what she was doing per my request. And we kind of knew that this was the direction that we would go after she got pregnant with her last baby. So we had time to kind of work through it. And it was a lot on her, the stress between stylists and, everyone's got something that wasn't done the way that they wanted it done. And I don't know, it was just I don't want that. Like, I don't want that. And I loved her and she was great for me, but it wasn't great for everyone else. So we had to take it and remodify it and do what I really had always wanted to do, is be deskless, because I'm such a gadget person anyway. So I love iPads. If it has the word I in front of it, I kind of love it. Like iPads, iWatch, iPhone. So they won me over.
Yeah. So we talked about this a little bit before too, is salons that for a stylist or a service provider of any type, that when you work in a business that you kind of grow in that model of having a receptionist or front desk that's handling a lot of the business practices for you. They're answering phones, they're booking your appointments, they're selling your retail, they're taking care of your clients. Like a lot of those things happen at the front desk. And if you go and you start to take that away from them suddenly, that could be a very difficult or challenging thing to go through. But yours wasn't necessarily that challenging from what you had said. So what was that like, trying to transition your team? What was their reaction when you kind of said, hey, she's going on maternity leave and not coming back?
Yeah, so it was probably 60-40 divided. There was some that were really busy that are like, I don't have time to answer the phones. I can't do this. I don't want to do it. This is why, like you'll hear everything. Like, this is why the commission split is as it is. Like, no, there is the cost of doing business and then there's what you're doing hair wise. And there was just so many factors into it that as I sat down and talked to the team, I was like, I want you all to understand business really clearly. Like, I want there to be no hiding places in my business. I provide my team with my tax return every year so they can see exactly what the salon did, what we spent, and what I took home. So most of them see, of course, that theirs is more than mine. And that was something that just after a few people left the salon and had some ugly attitudes, that we just had to expose it all. I was like, I want everyone to see it because I'm so sick of well, she makes all the money. Like, no, she does not. She makes sure you get paid first. And this is the direction I want everyone to see, the part of the business, what it takes to answer phones and what it takes to pay someone and what it takes to buy color. And so it really engaged the team more. As we started apprentices or proteges or partners, whatever you call them in the salon, we brought ours in like you would very much like a restaurant. And they learned how to work back of house to front of house. So they were shampooing, answering phones, booking appointments, talking about products to our guests. They had core products that they were, talking about to our guests. And we were kind of just watching that flow and seeing the numbers increase. So teaching our proteges to become salesmen first, because in my mind, I know everyone will say, oh, I'm a stylist. No, you're not. You're a salesman. Because the minute you hand out your business card, you name your salon, you offer a service, you're selling something. So I wanted everyone to be embodied with that and not be upset about the word. We had to take the fear out of the word. So whenever they were selling and doing those things and booking, which is part of the selling, it just got easier and easier. And then as our assistants became more booked, we were able to transfer them onto the floor and hire the next one. Then during COVID, the craziest thing, the shutdown, I couldn't go into my salon and answer my phones and do all that. So we incorporated with Numa, which was an automated answering system that digitized everything for us. So it come right over our iPad. I could see it, respond, and book. And we did that for a couple of years. And then here recently, well, I guess 2 years ago, we joined Salon Scale and we brought them into it to where everybody gets to get on their iPad and actually see what the salon is spending on color. Like I was just making the team more aware of every expense so that when we were looking of ways to save but not cut back on experience, that we were checking all the boxes. So then we incorporated Salon Scale. Here recently, we incorporated Salon Ninja. I have a virtual assistant in Manila who answers all of the phones from 10 to 2 every day. And even with that sounds like a lot. I imagine people are saying they're going, my God, that's a lot. No, I don't touch it. I don't have to do anything. The girls have their iPads. They're booking, rebooking. The guest is taking from Rosie Pay, putting in their credit card information, storing it if they choose to, doing all the things, rebooking their own appointments if they like they're doing it all and finding what works best for them. I might be providing a blowout and I toss the iPad to the guest and they're doing what they need to do and asking what kind of shampoos and conditioners they need more of at this time. And just really expediting the process so that whenever the client's cape comes off, the buying experience is done. So I'm making sure that it's still happening cape on. And that was another thing that I noticed. Like my retail sales are higher now than we had ever been with a front desk. And that's not everybody, but that was my experience. Mine didn't really want to sell. She didn't know the products. She didn't, even when she tried to learn all of them, it was a different experience because in her mind, she's answering in phones and dealing with all these other things. That wasn't her priority, but that retail is what makes the salon stay alive. It's never the hair that we do. It's the retail that we sell that provides all the other things. So
I want to keep you back a minute. I want to go back real quick to that transition because I think, so Rosie is doing a weekly checklist for salons that want to consider going into a deskless. So when you did that transition from having somebody there to not having somebody there, what was that process like for you? Like, where did you start?
Okay.
How did you, you told your team, hey, she's not coming back. You put in some of these processes and some of these other technology companies to help you automate some of those features. What else did you do? What were those steps like for you?
So in order, she's not coming back. Here's what we're all going to have to do. If you're not booked, your job is to answer the phone. You will be blocked out for an hour to do so as we're going through this. If you take a booking, we have to find someone else to take over phone duty. So that was kind of scrambling. We enlisted our new talent to come in and handle some phone things. And then as we transitioned into Numa took that headache away. We were able to, during processing times, return calls if need be. We kind of trained all of our guests through putting it out on social media that we would be not answering our phones during the day because our guests deserved our attention, and that we would see their phone call or text message and get back with them as soon as possible by end of day. So that was, we had to set the mindset. Oh, they're with guests. They're not going to answer the phone. The guest deserves the time. They'll get back with us by end of day. Or we led them to our online booking, trying to teach online booking. So in that response through Numa, it would say, if you need immediate attention, you can book online and it already threw out the automated response for us. So those prompted responses helped 90% of our troubles. So then after that, it was integrating the next step, which was more iPads for everyone. So currently each salon has between 7 iPads, depending on the size of the salon. They have 7. We'll be adding more. I want it to where when you're hired on in the salon that you get an iPad and a Salon Scale, and those are yours, and you're working through that. You're just, sorry, my phone's over there ringing. So being able to give them that iPad and that Salon Scale, said, these are yours. This is what you must do. and then training it into a system. This is how you answer phones. This is how you do that. Be quiet. There we go. No, hold on just a second. Let me make that. Be quiet.
It's okay. Go ahead, turn it off.
Oh yeah, nope, it's off. Okay.
While you're doing that, so you mentioned Numa for your phone answering system. You mentioned Salon Scale for your color management system. Salon Ninja, which is working for your two-way text messages between yourself and your clients, or your team and your clients, as well as some additional marketing features. So there's a lot of different automation that took place, which is really great. So, okay, that's good.
Yeah. In the near future, after Salon Ninja's done with us, like Nina will handle everything. And Nina is my virtual assistant who I use through Cyberbacker. And she will handle everything. And then we might add another backer, so that we have two, one working a different shift than Nina does, or maybe we need to, I'm not for sure what that looks like yet, but I'm looking into the future, seeing like, what's the next thing? How do we make it to where the cost of all of these things that you're hearing me talk about still are less than what it costs to have somebody that takes the front desk heartbeat position as a career?
Yeah, I want to just clarify something for people too, because we kind of talk about, changing that position or eliminating the front desk position entirely. But Nina, as a virtual assistant, she is not like booking appointments. She's not answering phone calls. She's a different type of an assistant.
Yeah, she's watching everything go through social media channels and putting it into the right place. She'll respond if there is something like pertinent that we can't book or handle or do. She will respond to that. And she does do some of those tasks, but for the most part, she's there, we're here. She's just answering and fielding a few things. It pretty much handles itself through the funnel, and training everyone to understand the online booking system makes it so easy. Like, clients like that. They can look at their schedule, because so many times, do you remember hearing, oh, I'll get back with you, I need to check my schedule. Well, now you have the app right there to where you can do it and check the schedule and be right there doing it. We will still book as they leave. I still make sure I've got 100% rebooking rate. I make sure that everyone as they leave my chair is on here ready to go. But it just makes it easier, honestly, for me.
You mentioned your clients. What is that experience like for them? Because going back to the receptionist role is like that heartbeat. They're the first and the last person of the experience, and they're going to do your water, your coffee, tea, whatever. They're going to do all these things and hold hand. What is that experience at Inviktus Salons now for your clients? What is that like? How does that benefit? How does going deskless benefit your customers, your clients, and how do they feel about it?
Our clients love it. Like, I feel like it's fun for them to watch us grow and evolve, but I also think they like a little bit of knowing everyone on the team. So let's say that I was double booked and Emily might not be. Then Emily might grab the iPad and come on over and be like, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and rebook you. Is there anything that you're out of at this time? May I refill your water? The known culture in our salon is, I don't care whose guest it is, it takes all of us to keep this ship going the right direction. So if my client hair looks good, you tell her. If your client hair looks good, I'm telling. We're all complimenting and telling all day long to one another. So our guests feel very connected to all of us. They don't necessarily feel like they're just seeing one person. They're seeing a salon team. And because our culture is no one blow dries alone, no one foils alone. If someone's got downtime, you hop in with your fellow teammate and you foil or do that job with them. So we're just asking for that drink. So the routine is really simple. When a guest walks in, they have the Euphoria consultation card. They fill it out with Rosie. It gives the, let us know when you've arrived. So we have that going on. And I can see it on my phone or watch. The rest of the team can see it on their iPads or whatever they've got going on too. And so we know, and it's easy to look around the room and see who. So even with a new guest, we still ask, are you Mary? Mary, welcome to Inviktus. I'm just going to check you in and get some information. Please follow me back to the area that we'll be doing, here's the salon tour, here's water, here's coffee, so it's just all going down through that salon tour that I want to provide or the service provider wants to provide, and then getting them comfortable with the process. So I just want you to know, Mary, in the future, everything we do is going to happen right here, okay? I'm going to be entering all your information. You can choose to put your credit card on file with me or not, but we'll always be checking out through the iPad, and we'll always be doing everything right here. I'll use it a lot to put your color formulations in and anything else. And they're like, oh, okay. So they know, they're aware of how we operate. And then whenever they're processing, that's when I'm stepping away, finalizing, getting things put together, grabbing the retail, putting it together for them, because I'm always talking about retail as well. So it's just, I don't know, it seems so seamless to me, and it's so our culture that I don't know that I could ever do it any other way. It's just who we are. We're servants in a good way,
Right.
Love what we do, and our clients love the way we do it.
I think clients they pick up on the vibe of the salon. So they know when a team works really well together and that camaraderie that you have versus if you don't, and each person kind of sticks to their own. But your clients definitely notice that, and they can feel that when you guys work really well together. So that's really good. So before we jumped on here, you and I were on together, and you were calculating some numbers. So
I love
numbers. How has this transition affected finances for you and your bottom line?
So in my bottom line, I'm thinking that like $40,000, I think would be a great starting place on someone that's really going to do that front desk job really, really, really well in our area. It's going to be higher in other areas, but I'm in Missouri, in small town Missouri in that. But I looked at it from the high end and the low end. So at $1,700 a month is about what I'm spending in other resources and other things, between $1,700 and $2,000. I figured like the high end could be $2,500 or more for someone that's really, really great and killing it at that position. So we're saving a ton of money. And that is, in reality, to me, in a world where things keep escalating and changing and going, and you never know, I had to cut back somewhere. And that is just where I chose to cut back on and put more responsibility on the stylist. So you could save anywhere between 30-40%. I mean, there's lots of different ways. It depends on what the math works out in your area, but I'm saving at least 30-40% right now in what we would spend out, and maybe even a little more. I'm thinking once we get everything tied in together, we'll be not using Numa anymore. We love them, but Salon Ninja will be doing all of that work. So that's an extra $248, because I have multiple salons that will go back into my pocket. And then there'll be some other things that will kind of shift and move a little bit to make the whole transition easier. So I feel like it was a huge savings for me. Like, where else can you save in your business and save 30-40%? There's not a lot of areas. And I do understand that Deskless doesn't work for everyone, but in our culture, it does. And I think for many people, it can be an awesome, yes, I see somebody saying younger clients prefer technology. They really do. And the majority of my clients used to be my age and older, but now they're not. I have all of the younger clients, and they do prefer. They teach me so much. I'm like, what's Linktree? I had one of my clients set it up for me a year or two ago and get me all rolling in that. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is revolutionary. And even for good point to that, our guests that don't do social media well or don't handle that, we give them that extra attention, and we're like, okay, I'll book that for you. I'll go ahead and make that for you, Miss Mary. And if you still want to pay by a check, that's okay. And if you never want me to put your credit card on file, that's okay too. But people like the ease of the flow of it. It's just a very easy flow. And even myself, I think I was telling you early, everything I do when I go to Walmart, I use Walmart Pay. I just click the QR code and I pay, and I'm done. The integration of Tippy, all of the things that we keep integrating just keeps the cycle going and makes it exciting for the team, exciting for the guests. exciting all the way around and
Mm-hmm.
profitable.
Right. Yes, which is huge. It's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, you had a front desk at one point. What did you do with it when she was suddenly not there anymore?
It's a
Did
retail
you?
space. So we added more retail, and then we put a large, like what used to be a front desk in the center of the salon. Pardon me, my allergies are terrible. And it's where you get your iPads, where you, it's kind of like it's not really a desk. It's just an area that we might grab our iPads, gift wrap everything up, get it ready to go. We have an iPad set up where a client could check in. Like it's there, but retail is what took up the space, and the rest of the money that I'm saving as well, I put back into retail.
Mm-hmm. So while your customers come in, they can walk around, they can shop, they can find products.
Yeah. Concierge center. I like it.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, good. And some other ideas and suggestions too for that is like, a selfie station or like your before and after zone. You could set up,
Yep,
a display
we did
area
that as well.
because a lot of those reception desks happen at the front of your building generally, right? Where all of your natural light comes in. So it's also a good spot for your pictures.
Yeah.
You put a picture zone. You could, put in some extra stations even in that area.
You could turn it into, if you wanted to like really capitalize on selling tools to your guests, you could make it a toolbar.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So much stuff that you could do with
idea.
it. If I wanted to, I could put bar stools behind it and let it be like a client resource center where if they wanted to go use our Wi-Fi and hop on and do some work. I mean, we have really long tables in our color bar so everyone can get on the internet and do what they need to do. And we have snacks and, like little grabby food that they can get to. So we just really streamlined it to be able to do all the things. And speaking of selfie stations, we just bought 4 mirrors to add in that are like the push button ones with the lights all around them to make selfie stations. So that's going to be exciting as well. And then now, in the end of it all, we'll have our clients taking their own pictures and sending them to us, and that's going to be amazing. And we also have, you made me think of one more thing, is with the Numa, which will roll over into Salon Ninja, we do all of our consultations virtually unless a guest would like to come in. They send us their hair now. They screenshot what pictures of products that they're using, what they want. I ask for 3 inspiration pictures so that I know if I hit A, B, and C, if we fall somewhere in between after they've had that at-home oopsie, that we're going to nail it and feel more confident. So it helps our production as well. We can produce more during a day.
Yeah. And those pictures and that virtual consultation helps you know what's coming in before they show up too. So that'll help you with timing as well. So, okay, we talked about checking in the concierge center and what clients do. And we touched a little bit on the checkout, but what happens? So like you finish doing somebody's hair and you're ready for them to leave. What are the steps? What's that process?
So the steps would look like going in, going in, adding their retail, making sure their salon scale is added to it, which is all, like right here. It's all here where the stylist can pull it up and see it. They don't have to walk to another area. It's just all here. And then we would turn it to the iPad to the guest and let them finish and finalize if they want. Once our tippy stuff gets here and it integrates in, we'll have that. And I'm super excited about that. So it'll look a little bit differently. But for the most part, we're just handling the rebooking, handing them their retail at the station, and it's all done. Retail is higher, rebooking is higher. People are getting out a little bit quicker because there's not 5 or 6 maybe checking out at the same time, waiting for someone to be able to check them out. And like I said, retail is higher. People are purchasing because that cape is still on. They're still expecting us to do something with them. When the cape comes off, they're ready to go pick up their kids, or they're ready to go to the mall, or whatever it may look like. So I think we're utilizing our time more efficiently. But it's easy, check out and go.
Yeah. And they're still there because I get that. Like when you're done with the service and you're like walking out of the salon, you're done, you're ready to leave. And so buying retail or rebooking, any of that has already escaped your brain because you're like already foot in the car.
People will say, I'll just call you back later. Well, then later when they call back, they're upset because 5 o'clock is already taken, which is their favorite time, and I can't get them in. And now, it's frustration central. So I also feel like team morale with the team, they're a lot happier because they're getting that rebooking, and we're not taking any kind of messages or call of somebody that's upset because 5 o'clock isn't there anymore. And we've trained the behaviors. Would you like to go ahead and book out for a year so you can always have 5 o'clock? Book like a doctor. That is huge.
Got it. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was telling you earlier when we talking. Like, I feel like when you come into the salon, we're always offering solutions to problems that you have, like a doctor would. And we're treating it very seriously. We're entering it. We're understanding and hearing and connected to, just like when you go to your doctor's office, they have iPads now. Yeah. What makes me any different? What makes me any different?
So in this conversation, you said that when you first introduced a deskless model, that your team was like 60-40 split. So where is everybody at today? Like, is everybody on board? What is the experience like for them? Like, where are
They're
they at?
super on board, mainly because it allowed us to do more things. With the savings, we were able to put in like a vacation fund. The girls want to use a vacation fund, and they hit certain numbers and maintain them. So if they have an average of an RTS of 25% or higher, then they're eligible. I want to see you at X, not when do you want to come in? Oh, true. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Like, I want to see you in 6 weeks. Yeah. So being able to, oh gosh, I forgot. I shouldn't have read that. They're all on board.
There's a vacation fund because if they hit a certain RTS percentage, so
if the RTS is 25% or higher, they're eligible for vacation pay. If they maintain that at the end of the year, they're able to take a vacation, and it's based off of what their average is for the year, and they get that. So it allowed me to do the things that I always hoped and dream of, because as a business owner, we all know no one stays forever. Sometimes we're a vessel while someone's passing to go through to their next job or their next venture or whatever. But I feel like at our salon, because we have made it so black and white on what I'm doing for you and what Inviktus is doing for you and what we want as a culture, we're creating it together. I'm just taking all the risk and responsibility for them, but they are all deciding what the things they want in life and for their careers are, which keeps them staying longer. So now the team that I have has been with me 5+ years, and I'm ecstatic about that. And some of them are moving into that 2 or 3 year mark. And we all know the 3 year mark is like, do they stay or do they go?
You had said that you're very transparent. Like, you show them your statements, like you show them P&Ls, like you talk about expenses. But I think that also, like, you're showing them that and saying, hey, by being a deskless or whatever, we're saving all this money. They don't just think, oh, Christa's just a millionaire now. She's just taking all this money and like buying new cars and lake houses and things like that. But you're showing them that this is how I'm giving it back to you, which is in vacation and being able to do these other expenses.
Oh yeah.
So
we have a really good, my friend, Erin Raber at Pinup Curls actually has like this huge binder that is so awesome. And she shared it with me, and I've recreated it for my team. And so we're also creating like, okay, shampoos and conditioners. Because of the points that we spend with Euphoria, can buy leaders for my team. So after they've been with me so long, they are eligible to receive the leader of their choice, which is basically a year's worth of shampoo and conditioner as well. So the things that they want, I just listen and I do my best to make it happen for them. Because when they leave, they think that they're going to go get it somewhere else, or they think they need more commission. Well, if you figure out like a good enough, and one of my girls said it best, is like, our commission in our salon is 40%. Like it or don't, I don't care. That's what my business can afford to pay. If I'm doing higher than that, I might as well give them the wheel to the ship, because now they're the boss, in my opinion. Guys, this is just my opinion. Take it and do what you want with it. but I'm taking all the risk and responsibility. So with tips and everything, Janelle that works for me said it best. We make 60% commission. So with their 40 and the 20%, which is average of what everyone tips us in the salon, and then the incentives that we have, they're like, why would I leave here?
Mm-hmm.
I get everything I want. I have what I need. She creates it. We create it. And it's not I, it's we, because I work for Inviktus as well. Inviktus is who we all report to, including myself. So making it just really everything that we want hopefully creates a place where everyone knows there's no hiding spaces. Salon Scale handles the color cost, so you see exactly what it is. We've marked ours up to where it factors in for our foils and everything else, brushes, combs, blow dryers, smoothing irons. We have ours at a 200% markup. Therefore, it's buying our color for us and replacing anything else we need. So we generated $55,000 last year. Like,
amazing. Yeah.
How do we were a Salon 200 salon, and I think about it and I'm like, oh my God, so if the whole industry as a whole is the top 1% of us are at 10% profitability, we're basically the top of the bottom of the barrel. And that's terrifying to me. Like, I'm like, I don't want that. Like, if the top 10 or the top 200 salons are the most profitable ones, I want to be better than that. And so I have to create ways to do it. And I would love to see us get to a higher profitability. Therefore, maybe we create a profit sharing program next.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Absolutely.
We create something for them to love.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we did a poll to our Rosie community, I think a week ago or so, and just wanted to kind of see and test out where are people's thoughts on becoming a deskless salon. Are they currently deskless? They thought about it, no way, or like they wanted to hear a little bit more. There was a lot of people that said, I'm not considering it, but I wonder too if it's maybe people haven't, you can't imagine what that would look like, or think there's no way my team would ever let me do something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until you get into a position. So what would be like your best advice for a salon that either said like, I don't think I could ever do that, or that just was thinking like, maybe I just needed to hear a little bit more information around it? Like, what would be your advice to somebody that, of how this has worked for you, or what would you want somebody to know about why this has been beneficial?
So I used to tell my son when he was little, he had to take a polite bite. Didn't matter what we were eating, he had to have a polite bite. And so I would just recommend take a polite bite of it. Get an iPad, test it with a stylist, see how it works. Just test it with one stylist in the salon and see how it works. Let that person rebook and do all of that kind of stuff. See how it suits you. Watch her numbers grow. Watch her retail grow, and see if it really is something. Like, it's don't knock it till you try it. Take a polite bite. All of the things that we're too scared to do because fear lives, fear is just false evidence appearing real. So just give it a try and see how it works. You'll either love it or you hate it, and that's fine. I just maybe would say start it with an assistant that is working with a senior stylist that's very booked, and have them, right there logging all of her color from Salon Scale in for her, rebooking for that senior teammate, and see the productivity. Because people lie, but numbers don't. Numbers are always a constant. They don't change. So the proof will always be in the numbers.
100%. That is absolutely. Yeah. And to maybe take a poll of your team and kind of get the feel from them. Like, is this something you think you would want to consider? Or think back of how many times do you hear somebody complaining that the receptionist messed up an appointment? Somebody was booked at the wrong time. They were booked on the wrong day. Like, the receptionist didn't confirm their appointment, or whatever it is.
Or clients saying she was very rude to me. She was handling someone else, or at the checkout, she didn't even ask me about product. Like, they're not all that way. I know some really fabulous front desk concierges, some fabulous ones. What happens whenever you have that? Well, she didn't even sell retail to my client. Well, whose responsibility is it? Does she have a hair license, or do you? So putting it back onto my team, I felt like was best for me so that they understood the business. And in the grand scheme of things, at some point or another, we've all been through this. Someone wants to leave to go start their own business. When you've handled it like we've handled it, we've either prepared them to be ready for it, to understand all the challenges. So be it. I want to see you succeed. Or we've prepared them. I don't ever want to do this. And I will stay right here in my salon home because this is just fine by me. Mm-hmm. And I think being really transparent in all of those things, down to booking and seeing it and being responsible for the paycheck and seeing what's on your books, seeing what your color costs actually were, stops the divide of, well, I want more in commission, or I want this, or she gets this, or she gets that. I'm like, please, like.
Mm-hmm. Through that transparency, you're giving them a little bit of ownership to their own business and understanding and seeing it, which I think is really great.
Yeah, I think that the team is so on board and they love it. And those that didn't love it left, and that's okay too, you know?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. All right. What final words would you like to have? Anything that you would like to share that we didn't talk about?
I would say just be in charge of your numbers. Look at your retail sales. Make sure that your retail, your RTS is high. Make sure your booking is high, rebooking rate, that is. And look for ways in your business always. Always look for ways in your business to see where there's gold in the gap. Where can you change something at? Where can you flip the script and turn it around and turn something that's more of a drainer on the financial side into not so much, like making it rain money instead of just rain would be a whole lot better. So I think just looking at it, always be evaluating. Every month I will pull up a P&L and see where I'm high at, where I'm low at, what it looked like, what happened. Why did we not have such good rebooking, cancellations? Like that's our new one right now. You've been through that one with us. Like we're trying to figure out how do we rectify and make this all right in a world where our guests haven't had to put a deposit down or anything like that. And that's what we're getting ready to start implementing. It's going to happen. And are we prepared for it? And just always being prepared in every aspect of your P&L and knowing it. And if you haven't looked at your P&L, you need to pull it out and look at it and see what you're spending on rent, what you're spending on payroll, what you're spending on NIPS, your non-income producing people, all of that kind of thing, and look at those percentage and see what you can be innovative on to change. So that's really it.
Look for gold in your gaps. I love that. Yeah. Perfect.
I heard that somewhere. I can't remember who said it, but I stuck with me.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, well, so we do have, I think we just put out week 1 checklist. So every Wednesday during the month of July, we'll do a weekly checklist for anybody that is interested or curious or would like to see some of the steps that it would take to transition to a deskless business. So you can look for that on our Facebook page as well as in our Facebook community. So it'll just give you an idea of what that would look like, what kind of things you would need to complete in order to get there. That's not the end all be all. It's just your starting point. There may be other things that you may want to implement in your business if you are interested in going that way. But you can look for those that way. And then Christa, do you want to share your social media or your website one more time?
Yeah, so Christa is Euphora is my Insta and Facebook, or Christa Stephens, and www.inviktussalon.com. And I will, Lori, put together a video for you guys if you want to put it out on Rosie's page of us actually utilizing it. So I'll put it together, film one of the girls actually doing it, what it looks like with a guest, so that someone can see the ease of it, the checkout, like everything. We'll piece it together for you and get it sent the next week or so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, Christa. Well, thank you so much for being here and having this conversation today. And I hope that I know that it's helpful for people and they're going to get a lot out of it. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.